40 years ago, I, along with many other people, got myself arrested trying to stop the construction of the Torness nuclear power station. We didn't succeed in stopping Torness, but they haven't built another nuclear power plant in Scotland since. And the reason is because that campaign provided a tipping point in public opinion, where people began to realize that the halo had slipped from nuclear energy, and it was actually a very expensive, very dangerous, and not renewable source of energy. Now, I hope that the climate change protests that we have seen in recent months in this country will provide a similar tipping point, and that it will bring public opinion to a place where they understand the need to dramatically accelerate the action we need to take in order to tackle this most urgent of catastrophes that may soon be visited upon us. So I applaud those Extinction Rebellion campaigners. They have done more in a few short months to raise the profile of this issue than 100 worthy articles in The Guardian has ever done. And I applaud also the 16-year-old Swedish Greta Thunberg, who I saw speak in Parliament this Tuesday. She has a vision and a wisdom beyond her years, and she rightly pointed out the bogus nature of the UK government claims that it has reduced carbon emissions by 40% over the last 25 years because they have left air travel out of the calculation. If you take it into account, the actual reduction is more like 10%. In Scotland, the 2009 Climate Change Act, passed by the SNP government, has taken a different approach. Air travel is included in the calculation. And even with that, our achievements and our ambitions are far more better than the rest of the United Kingdom. But conference, there is so much more that we need to do. And I want to make the case for us having the power to do so. This debate relates very much to the question of our political independence. Let me give you 3 examples. I looked before I came to make this speech online about how I could travel to London tonight. I can fly from Edinburgh Airport for £78. The cheapest rail ticket I can find is £145.50. Now, you don't need to be an economist to realize that that is crazy and it is unsustainable. But to do something about it, we need urgent investment and coordination of our public transport in this country in a manner like we have never seen before. And at this present point in time, our government does not have the control over the infrastructure and has its financial ability to act placed within the straitjacket of Westminster. That is why we can do better with independence on tackling this issue. If you take also the question of food production. In the supermarket across the road, you can buy a kilo of red meat for less than the cost of a kilo of green vegetables. Now, not only is that economic madness, that is a disaster waiting to happen in terms of our health and nutrition as well. But to change that, we need to do more than just exhort consumers to spend or consume differently. We also need government action to regulate and intervene in the market to make it possible to grow in this country cheap, sustainable, healthy foodstuff and to get it into our shops. And we lack the powers to do that because these are reserved to Westminster. That is why we can do better with independence. And finally, there's the question of energy, where the Scottish Government has some ability to act and has already shown what can be done if it has the power to do something. I know that there are protesters at the door who want this written in blood, but conference, read my lips. Under the SNP, there will be no fracking in Scotland. Compare and contrast that. Compare and contrast that to the actions of the United Kingdom government, who seem willing to let international corporations rip up the English countryside in pursuit of shale gas. But actually, Scotland, much of the powers that we need, we do not have. The entire financial framework which governs the direction and development and investment in renewable energy is not under our control. With independence, it would be. And you can bet that you would see much greater action for us to harvest the massive power that daily visits the shores of this country and develop our marine renewable energy so we can not just be a world leader, but a world exporter of clean renewable energy. That is why we need independence, so we have the power to act. Probably in this rather than any other aspect of human endeavor, we know that independence is not an abstract notion. It is about giving people the political power to change lives. With independence, we can go faster, we can go better in terms of completing targets to tackle climate change. We can build a sustainable country where people live in harmony with the natural world and the living environment around them. So we should salute the school students of Scotland who in recent months have urged us to lift our horizons and raise our ambition. But as we work with them, we should also campaign for our country to be a normal, independent, self-governing nation so that we can build the type of country we want, and those school students will be the ones who reap the benefit. I move.